Okay, so here we are. I'm about to draft in the Team Draft Super League. I thought I'd have you come along. Basically, I'm waiting right now for the login to appear, and then that will assign us our seat, and we're going to get into the draft. This is a team draft, so very, very different from a normal one. And we're in. Oh, good. We've got sound effects on for some reason. Let's kill this. That is not the card that we want. I'm just going to select a card here to start off with while I kind of get things set up a little bit more to my liking. All right, so what are the important cards in the pack? Wayward Servant is important. Cartouche of Strength is important, and that's about it. This pack is pretty weak. Cartouche of Knowledge and Unwavering Initiate are both notable cards. What is the person to my left going to take? Well, if they've taken a black or white card, they'll snap up the Wayward Servant. If not, they may take one of these white cards or the Cartouche of Knowledge. So we don't really know. I don't think I'm sending a super strong signal to my left other than there's a gold card here. But I'm just going to take what I think is the best card in the pack, full stop, which is Cartouche of Strength. And we'll see how it goes. So what could we wheel out of this pack? Not much. Maybe a giant spider. Doomed Dissenter, perhaps, if we end up in black. But yeah, the things we're passing, not really strong signals. The only really good card is Wayward Servant. And again, if my opponent takes a blue, red, or green card out of their pack, then they're unlikely to take the Servant. But if they do take a black card, I think they're just snapping up the Servant. If they take a white card, I think they will as well. It's probably worth it to dip in for a Wayward Servant over one of these two cards, even given the fact that it's a little bit less consistent. So I'm going to take the Cartouche. I'm just going to mute this so we don't have to hear these sound effects. I can actually just go change it real quick. All right, there we go. So, pack one, pick one, Cartouche of Strength. And of course, we're going to be keeping a close eye on what's coming from our right-hand side as well. All right, so this pack has some good playables in it. It has a Labyrinth Guardian and a Gustwalker. I like those quite a bit. There's also a Tawcrop Elite. I think the two best cards here are both white. If I take the Gustwalker, I'm shipping a Tawcrop Elite, which is a significantly worse card. Interestingly, we're also sending another one, an Honor Crop Captain to our left here. So we would be sending sort of two pivot cards off of white, but I don't really care about that so much. So if I take the Labyrinth Guardian, then one of these white cards is going to skip over and get to my opponent, though I am giving them a second pick Gustwalker if I do that. If I take the Gustwalker, then they could take any number of these other cards. So I'm just going to take the Gustwalker here. I just think it's the best card in the pack, once again, and I don't think that there's a huge incentive, given that I have no idea what's going on to the left. All right, now here's a big signal. A Decimator Beetle and a Battlefield Scavenger, plus there's a Splendid Agony and an Electrify. Wow, what a pack. What a pack. So I think the card that my opponent is most likely to want on my left is Splendid Agony, but I think that they will take an Electrify or a Battlefield Scavenger if they're anywhere near red, and they may even take it over it. The only reason I think the Splendid Agony is in consideration for my opponent is that they may have taken, if they took a white or black card, then the next card that they would have taken would have been the Wayward Servant, and then I don't know what they would have taken out of that next pack necessarily, but they probably would want a Splendid Agony if that were the case. That being said, if I take the Splendid Agony from them, they just get a sweet red card no matter what. So I'm going to take the best card for me, which is the Decimator Beetle. I think the card's excellent, and I want it for my deck. Okay, a couple of good choices here, a Shefet Monitor and a Cursed Minotaur. I'm still passing red to my left in the form of a Manticore the Gauntlet, but this is the first red that's really hit my opponent to the left here. And I think we can safely take one of these two cards here and sort of just stay away. I like Shefet Monitor quite a bit. I think the Cursed Minotaur is a bit of a better card. And we really haven't passed much in the way of green. I mean, there's a couple of decent green cards here. I'm going to take the Cursed Minotaur here. If my opponent did end up being in black-white, then they would have taken the removal spell and the zombie. And I want to kind of try to throw a wrench in the works of that plan for them. So I'm just going to go ahead and take the Cursed Minotaur here. All right, well, this pack is completely all over the place. Best card, I guess, is Hieroglyphic Illumination. There's also an In Oketra's Name, which that deck probably wants. I just don't want to assume too hard that the person to my left is in black-white. I think it's the most likely, but that, you know, there's a lot of things that could change that. And so I don't want to just assume it for sure. And this card is very narrow in that way. I could take an Anointer Priest. It's super medium. I could take a Skirmisher or Illumination. Either way, they're going to get a blue card if they're in blue. So that doesn't really get me anywhere anyway. Yeah, this pack is just horrible. I think it is between Anointer Priest and In Oketra's Name. And I'm just going to go for the Anointer Priest, I suppose. Okay, so no good green cards coming outside of that Decimator Beetle. We first picked green, but it looks like green is getting cut. So we're going to need to look around and see what else we can do here. Let me put these in order. So we started with Cartouche, then we took Walker. That's how we did it, right? Okay. Blue seems to be somewhat open. I mean, there's a Winds of Rebuke, a Naga Oracle, and a Serpent here. There's also a Retcrop Spearmaster, which I think is the best card, and I think it's the one I'm going to take here. This is the pack that we opened. So the Doomed Dissenter did come back. There's also a Dune Beetle, but this pack is just complete garbage anyway, so I'm just going to take this Doomed Dissenter. I'm really hoping that the person to my left ended up in black-white, because I'm just cutting the living hell out of him now. Guess I'll take an Impeccable Timing. Could take a Quarry Hauler. That card is better. That would give us Quarry Hauler, Decimator Beetle, Cartouche, plus these white cards, and then maybe we splash for the Decimator Beetle or something. Sure, I'll take it. Benefaction, Giant Spider, and another Retcrop Spearmaster. Okay, I'll take the Spearmaster here. I think that, you know, as far as I know, these decks sometimes end up pretty inconsistent, and you have to end up playing 3 colors even if you don't really want to. So I could take this Caravan, a Painted Bluffs, which does actually let me splash for a few cards, or just take this Oashra Cultivator, which does also let me splash for some cards. I'm going to take the Painted Bluffs here, I think. The Supply Caravan's fine too, but this Painted Bluffs could actually go in my deck, perhaps. All right, take Haze of Pollen. All right. Let's look at what colors we actually are right now. So it felt like green is not open to coming from my right. I assume that my opponent on the right is in green. We did see a decent amount of blue coming through, a good amount of white. Not a whole lot of black, though. It would be a little weird if they were green-black and shipped the Decimator Beetle. That is Pikula passing to me, and I am passing to Jamie. This is Finkel here. This is Paul. And Kenji's up here. Sorry, this is Paul up here, actually. This is Kenji. Okay, well, the blue's still here for sure, so I'm going to take this Naga Oracle. I don't think we're going to end up playing it, but it's certainly possible at this point. I'll just take this, I guess. Okay. So, Vizier of Many Faces, Cast Out Deemworthy. Holy crap. This pack is insane. There's no great green card that we're shipping, though. We're shipping Spring to Mind, Greater Sandwurm, and Ornery Kudu, so I think I'm fine with that. And if that's the case, do we think that the opponent in my right is in blue? And the answer is no, I don't. I don't think that. But if I take the cast out and ship the Vizier and they are in blue, it's a disaster. It's just a disaster for us. So I think I just need to take this Vizier of Many Faces. I just don't think that I can let that card go on the off chance that they're blue, or if they have the ability to get into blue or whatever. So I'm going to take the Vizier here, even if I probably won't end up playing it. It's still not impossible, though. Let's not, rule out anything at this point. I know we're going to end up kind of scrapping together a deck here one way or the other. They're getting something, though. There's a good chance that they're in red and pick up a Deemworthy. I think that green-red seems to be the most likely color pair for Pikula. Okay, here's a deck that's much, much worse than the other. There's a fan bearer for us, and I think I'm fine passing all of this other stuff. I can't cut a green card and actually have it get through. I could cut Soul Stinger, but I don't think the person to my right is necessarily in black. At least that's not the read that I had from the first pack. And Fanbearer is quite good. Also, another thing is that it's a similar problem. Soul Stinger and Grimstrider both get through anyway. So I'm going to take Fanbearer and possibly solidify myself more into white. Our white is okay. It really is. Wow, it's Trial and Synchronized Strike. What else? Not a lot else. So I'm once again forced to pass a green card here. I could take a not green card and force one of these green cards to go kind of through. But what's the not green card that I'm taking? I suppose there's 3 green playables in the pack, but there's 2 good green cards in the pack. I could take Cancel or one of these cards. I'm just going to take the Trial. I mean, it sucks to give my opponent the Synchronized Strike, especially when I think that they're in green, but they're just, it was piled up. Right now, I think we're still green, white, maybe black. Like, this could be our deck. Okay, here's a Bitterblade Warrior, which I'm going to take because I really do think my opponent's in green, and I want to just try to get him. Also, we'll note no red cards coming through here. So it's not unlikely that the player on my left, which is, who was it? It was Jamie, could very well be in red as well. Though, be kind of interesting if that were the case, because I think that Pikula may also be. But let's take the Bitterblade Warrior. I'm really trying to just cut Pikula off of what I assume is one of his main colors in green. Okay. Here we've got Impeccable Timing, Greater Sandwurm, Initiate's Companion, Stinging Shot. There's also a Time to Reflect, which came through, which is kind of interesting. Also, we do not see black cards coming through, and so that does make me think that Jamie is in perhaps black-red. We did ship him early black cards that might have put him in there, though we did think it was going to be black-white. So I think I'm just going to take, once again, one of these green cards and just try to keep my opponent from having them, basically. So the question is, do I want Initiate's Companion or Greater Sandwurm here? I'm going to go with the Sandworm. Vizier of Remedies. There's a Cartouche of Knowledge. Pikula could be blue-green, though I saw just enough coming through in the last pack that I did think that the blue was at least somewhat open. I'm not really there's only one good blue card here, but there's also only one good white card, one good any of these. I mean, Mighty Leap's playable, I suppose. I'm just going to take this Cartouche. All right, Spring to Mind came back. Ornery Kudu came back, and Greater Sandwurm came back. So this is all pretty good. I'm going to take Spring to Mind here. I think my opponents can have, again, I can't cut a green card and have it be effective. And Seeker of Insight's pretty good, but I think that my deck could use this Spring to Mind quite a bit. All right, now I can actually cut a green card or a black card from my opponent. And I'm once again going to cut this. I'm surprised this Soul Stinger came back. That confuses me, but I'm just going to keep cutting green. I'm really hoping that Pikula's in green and then I'm just torching him here in the second pack. It's going to take this Wind Guide. Basically, I just don't want to risk my opponents getting it, so I'm just going to take it. I'm not really giving up much. Scribe the Mindful, River Serpent, and Festering Mummy. None of these are particularly good. I'll just take a Stinging Shot here. And we're just sort of in that last part of the pack that is unlikely to matter. Wow, Ornery Kudu going this late is weird. I mean, not that it's like an amazing card, but it's certainly better than that. All right, one more pack to go. I assume we won't see a whole lot of green coming through the pack. What is it with me opening these stupid Harvest Seasons? And here's a Splendid Agony going to the player in my left who I believe is in black, as well as two decent cards. I'm going to take it here. There's quite a few good green cards here. I could take the Defiant Greatmaw, but then they get a Splendid Agony, and I think I want that card in my deck. So I'm going to take it. We're pretty likely to get one of those good green cards back, as well as the other packs had green stuff that wheeled, and there was quite a few. I mean, I'd take that Naga Vitalist for sure. It goes well with this Painted Bluffs and the fact that we're trying to splash. All right, well, here's a Trial of Solidarity, and I think I just need to take that. There's also a Magma Spray and an Electrify, but again, this is that problem that you face a lot, where if I cut an Electrify or a Magma Spray, then the person gets the other one anyway. So I'm going to take the Trial. I also just don't want this Trial going through me. My opponent took a Common. Well, Trial of Solidarity it is. It's a good card. I'd like a few more creatures. We're only on 12, and we do need to make sure our deck's playable. But I think when you can take the best card in the pack and it's the... Or arguably, yeah, when you take the best card in the pack and it's in your colors, I assume you just do it. All right, so here's Cruel Reality, though. That's a tough one to splash. There's also a Cartouche of Ambition, which would go quite nicely in our deck, and another Ornery Kudu. But I just don't want to let this thing through. I think this card's actually pretty good, and I'm just going to cut it here. I don't think we're going to end up playing it. But like I said, I don't want to let it through either. All right, Soul Stinger or Quarry Hauler. I could also take a Dread Wanderer. Probably just take the Quarry Hauler here. These two cards are both pretty good. And, I mean, I think I've successfully cut my opponent out of green. But there's no reason to let that slow us down. Wow, Plague Belcher now? There's a Destined to Lead and a Bitterblade Warrior here too. Infinite Impeccable Timing's going around. I'm just going to take the Plague Belcher. That's a good pickup for us. This guy's good. Our mana's looking bad, but that guy's good at least. I wonder if I end up just playing this card. I wonder if I just end up just going nuts. You know what I really could use, but I assume that I won't see, is a Gift of Paradise. That's the type of card that can really enable the type of stuff that we're trying to do in a good way. Ramp out some of our more expensive spells and that kind of thing. Ooh, Shefet Monitor. I'm going to take that. This pack is stinky anyway. And Shefet Monitor is perfect for our deck. It goes and gets black mana or white mana, whichever one we need. It lets us kind of just load up on green. Because if we load up on green, then we can play Spring for the color that we don't have. And Shefet Monitor for the color that we don't have. We've got a weird game plan. Obviously, no 2-drops is a bit problematic, and our removal situation's not exactly stellar. I'd say our deck is a C- or something at this point, but we've cut a decent amount of cards. I hope we've been disruptive to the people around us, and now if we can come out with a decent C- style deck, I think that's probably okay. All right, Defiant Greatmaw it is. I really want to see that Naga Vitalist. Yeah, no such luck. All right, I'm just going to keep taking these 3-drops. So many 3-drops. This is good. We got there on creatures, which means I can cut down a little bit on some of these. I think I actually want to just play the Cruel Reality at this point. Illusory Wrappings is somewhat annoying. I'm just going to cack that. It's actually quite good against my deck. All right. Well, I'll be honest. I have no idea how this went. I think my deck is playable. I think I didn't make any egregious passes that were, in the sense of like, whenever we saw a good red removal spell, it was always accompanied by another one. A lot of our picks somehow just ended up being 2 cards that were good together or, in the same color. Harvest Season, should I play it? Probably not, right? And I don't know how the build is going to go, but I get to consult my teammates for that part. All right, so there it was for all eternity.